All right, welcome in. Hello. How is everybody doing? Hopefully everybody's doing good. It is good to see you. Welcome. Alrighty, welcome to Pawcast number 2. And this time we are having on my buddy Zhao. We're bringing in Mr. JanuaryAndOn. And we're going to be talking about his shift in content altogether, but how he went from gaming to more car content. Well, welcome in, guys. If you guys are brand new here, hello and welcome to the podcast. My name is Oberok, and I am known as the White Wolf. I am a full-time variety content creator here on YouTube, and I am the host of this podcast. So, I'm excited to get into this, man. We'll be calling Mr. Zhao here in about 10 minutes, but welcome in. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I appreciate you. Hopefully everybody is doing good and having a fantastic Thursday. It is really, really good to see you guys. All right. Now, hopefully, everything is looking good and sounding good. I do hope so. I had a few technical difficulties, but we should be good to go now. I hope so. We should be good to go. If we encounter any other issues with tech and whatnot, hopefully we'll be able to, get it sorted pretty quickly. All right. But yeah, man, welcome in, baby. Episode 2. It is crazy. We did our first episode back and our first live episode here on this channel. That was 2 weeks ago. We're going to be doing bi-weekly episodes, so I'm excited about that. And it's just crazy to think we're already on episode 2. It's already been 2 weeks, but welcome in, man. Welcome. I appreciate you guys so much for joining us over here. All right, let me go ahead and now the camera situation for me might be slightly awkward. We're trying to get that sorted out when it comes to the dual screen. Trying to get that sorted out here. It might be a little wonky, so definitely trying to get that sorted. But yeah, man. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, we're gonna get into this. I'm excited. The last time we had on Zhao, and mainly when we have on guests to the podcast, it's kind of a little bit more like a live interview, right? Now, this time it's gonna be a little bit more just like a chill sesh. Just a chill sesh, couple bros, couple beers, 21 plus. All right. We're gonna be talking about life, talking about cars, talking about all kinds of cool stuff. So yeah, man. If you're 21 plus, crack a cold one with us, and let's get ready, man. Let's get ready. I'm excited for this. I've been talking with Mr. Zhao for a little while now, man. We've been talking about this. We've been talking about this for quite a many months, and now here we are, man. Here we are with episode 2. So I'm really excited. I'm definitely really excited to get into this. All right, let me do a quick little thing real quick. Give me just a little second here. All right, there we go. Now, also, as you may be seeing right here, we got a new Pawcast logo. So this is actually the old one. But all merch is updated with our new logo, and there it is right there. I was trying to come up with a new design, and I was like, I like it. I want to put some other paws in there, kind of mess around with the design a little bit, check it out, experiment with different designs, different font, and I came up with this, and I was like, oh yeah, I like that right there. That's what's up. That's what I'm talking about right there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, we got ourselves a brand new Pawcast logo, and like I said, it is updated on all of the merch as well. Give me 2 seconds here. Alrighty, there we go. If anybody would like to check out any of the Pawcast merch, it is now linked in the chat right there. If you guys do want to check that out. But yeah, man, I'm freaking excited, dude. I'm really excited. All right. Yes, sir. Okay. Now, if you guys are new here or if you guys are returning, if you guys know my other streams over on my main channel at Oberok, you'll know that I pray before every single stream. So we are going to go ahead and jump into a prayer. If you guys have any prayer requests, by all means, you guys are more than welcome to leave those in the comment section, or you can leave them in the live, and then I can get to those at a moment during the live, or again, I can catch those in the comment section once this becomes a VOD, and I can pray for those. If there's any prayer requests, please let me know how I can pray for you. But we're gonna go ahead and jump into a prayer here. So let me go ahead and mute the music really quickly. Now I'm gonna pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you and we thank you for this day. We thank you for this day and the ability to just have a cool, just awesome conversation with Jao. I thank you for Jao and his friendship. He's been a great friend, and he's just been a great dude, awesome person to be able to hang out with and just be able to know. So I thank you very much, Lord, for the ability to know him and hang out with him. We just thank you for now the second episode of the podcast, and we just thank you, Lord, for the ability to have this new channel, and we thank you, Lord, just to be able to do this in general. Lord, I pray that in all things we will honor you, and you will always come first. And I just thank you, Lord, as well for 23 years of life. I thank you for every single breath that you've given me, every step you allow me to take, every heartbeat. Lord, just help me honor you and put you first in all things, in Jesus' mighty name. And we just pray, Lord, that this will be, this stream will just run well, and just everything will work out. And we just pray, Lord, that we'll just be able to have a great conversation with a good buddy. In your mighty name, Jesus, we thank you and we love you. Amen. All right. All right. Let me get this music back on. Thank you very much for praying that with me, Wolfpack. I appreciate you, and welcome in, everybody. Welcome. To anybody who may be new here, if you guys are wondering why are we doing a podcast live, my podcasts are live because I love the live experience. I love having the interaction and the engagement with the community live and in real time. So as I'm doing my own episodes talking about whatever I'm talking about, or we have a guest on, you guys are more than welcome to comment on what we're talking about, or you can share your own stories that are similar or have anything to do with what we're talking about, anything like that. You guys are more than welcome to be a part of the conversation, because that's one of the reasons I just love the live experience, being able to have the engagement with the community and involve you guys in the conversation. So if you guys have any questions, comments, anything like that, by all means, if you have them for me, if you have them for Jao, let us know, man. Let us know. All right, let me go ahead and let me see here. Let me let them know. Jump in general when ready. All right. Okay. But yeah, man, hopefully everybody's doing well. Hopefully everybody's having a good day, man. It is good to see you guys. It is really, really good to see you guys, man. All right. Hopefully everybody's just chilling and having a good time. Let's go ahead. Let's put on some, let's put on the rock playlist, man. Here we go. Yeah, let's put on that rock playlist. Here we go, baby. There we go. All righty. All right. Now, so, well, I talked about cracking a cold one. Talked about cracking some cold ones. So what we have is we actually have Voodoo Ranger here, and this is their hard charged tea. So we got some twisted teas, baby. Check it out, man. Voodoo Ranger is really, really good stuff. Really good stuff. So this one is the Raz Pop, and then the other one that I got here is just lemon. We got Raz Pop and lemon hard charged tea from Voodoo Ranger. And actually it was Jao so he is sponsored by Voodoo Ranger, and he was able to work with them to send out some beers for this podcast. So big thank you to Voodoo Ranger and Mr. Jao. All right, let me go ahead and pull him in here because he is in here. All right. Hello.
Hey, friend, how are you?
Hello. All right. Let me make sure your mic is all the way up there. All right. There we go. Want to make sure your mic is all the way up there, my boy.
That's
There
what
we
I
go.
like to hear. All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Okay. How you doing, my man? Welcome in. Welcome in.
Hey, it's good to be here. It's good to be here.
All right. So I really appreciate that, my man. Okay. So like I messaged you, my camera might be a little spotty. It might be a little spotty.
Hey.
So let me see if I can get this worked out here really quickly. All right. Here we go. There we go. Oh my goodness, we got you on the we got you on the widescreen. Oh my goodness,
I'm
look
out
at
here.
that.
I'm out here.
Look
That is
at
wide.
that. Yeah, that is very wide. Golly. Okay, hold on. Let me fix this. Let me fix this real quick.
That's all right.
Okay, hold on. All right. Now I would like to be able to jump in here with you so you can see me. Do you want to see me in Discord, or do you just want to keep up the stream?
Oh no, you can just keep up the stream. Don't worry
Okay.
about having to get all that shit.
Okay. Cool. Let me see here. Oh, also, by the way, no like restrictions or anything like that. By all means, curse words, you're good. You are chilling, my man.
Apologies. I realized I launched that one without getting that okay.
Oh, no. I just wanted to clarify. You are totally good, my man. All right. So let me you know what? Here, let me do one of these. Okay, so we're gonna go like this. Go like that, and then we're gonna go like this, and then we're gonna go wait. I'm gonna go like that. I'm gonna go like that. Okay. Golly. Yeah, we're getting wide out here. We're getting.
I don't know why I'm so wide.
We are wide. Okay, hold on. Let's go ahead and put you right there, my man. There we go. All right, bring it down a little bit. There we go. Actually, wait, let me fix just a little bit more. There's like one extra pixel right there. There we go. All right. There we go. Look at this.
Hey, we did it.
Look at this beautiful specimen right here. Hello, sir. Oh man.
Hello.
All right. Okay, so I was saying before I jumped on here. Actually, real quick, let me go into open mic real fast, so I'm not pressing my my button here constantly. Hold on. Let me go here. Boom, bam, bop, like that. Let me go. All right, there we go. Okay, cool. All right. So we're gonna get to it. Okay, we're gonna get to the meat. All right. So on our last episode, it's been meat. It's been like 8 months. Yeah, it's been quite a while.
Has it been that long?
Yeah. It's definitely been a little while because our last episode when we had you on, I was actually talking about uploading a short every single day. That was in October. That was October, my man.
And
so
did you do it?
I did.
Wow.
I did indeed. I uploaded a short every single day for 62 days. Yeah.
Did you find it useful and helpful and good?
I did. Absolutely. Yes, I did. In a matter of, because we were talking about subscriber count, in a matter of subscriber count and overall reach, 450 new subscribers in those 62 days. Yeah.
Incredible.
It was really cool. It was definitely really cool. I wanted to just see if I could do it. See if I could just, post a video every single day. And it really showed me that like you can kind of post anything. You know what I mean? Right? Like something that I'm actually wanting to talk about in tomorrow's video is creating content is only limited by your imagination, right? Like you can pretty much make anything.
And
what do you think on that?
The thing is, I guess the other reality is like, if you want to be a content creator for a job, any content is better than no content. Especially if you are still very much in like the massive growing stage, right? Until you're reaching audiences of several 100,000 where you're able to actually identify, oh, this video gets me 200 views. This video gets me 200,000. Well, now I know what content I need to super focus on.
Right.
When in reality, for up and coming creators, for creators who are trying to come into a new niche, if you are posting something and it gets 1,000 views versus 10,000 views, well, you should probably look at what got 10,000 views versus what got 1,000 views. But at the same time, don't be posting nothing while you're waiting for an idea that you think will get 10,000 views.
Absolutely.
Just keep posting. And, you know, it turns out the only way we actually grow is by producing. And live content versus, you know, edited post content, like, you know, a YouTube video, a short, a TikTok versus a live stream. This is not new information by any means, but typically on a live platform, you are only growing from the time you go live till about 30 minutes before you end. Versus, you know, every now and then, I had a video really randomly. It's an old Dark Souls 3 clip that I had back when I was still wearing my bunny ears and I had my green screen.
Dude, I loved those streams so much.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved them.
And I ran up to this bridge, and there's these kind of like, I don't know, they're these big ladies, these like wizard paladin things, and they grab and hug you and they throw flames at you, and they kicked my ass so many times. So I'm psyching myself up to fight this, and it just falls through the floor and dies. I don't know what happened. I got this weird glitch, and like the look on my face, like the shock, just anyway. Every now and then, about once every 6 months, that video jumps up to 1,000 to 5,000 views, and it gets a lot of comments, and then it disappears for 6 months, and it just keeps happening. And so it is wild, like seeing an old video start redoing, and that's just kind of the luxuries of having that posted content. Is again, everybody wants the video to pop off instantly. Everybody wants to make it do really well, but you got no idea what's going to happen with the internet, right? I posted something for that weird game Scorn. Scorn?
Oh yeah. No, yes, the
like
horror
really
game.
bloody one.
Yeah, the horror game. Yeah,
because I got an early access preview of it. I posted it. It did pretty well, but on launch day, because everybody was searching Scorn again, that video went up again in views. So you know, there is absolutely, especially early on, just be posting. Always be posting.
Right.
Something.
Right. Yeah, it's something in. By the way, would you like to crack a beer, my man?
Oh, absolutely.
So I was showing this a little earlier. I got the hard charged tea lemon Voodoo Ranger. That's what I got right now. What you got?
I've got the Juice Force, the Force variety pack.
Ooh.
It comes with the Tropic Force, the Juice Force, and the Peach Force, which I actually wanted to save the Peach Force for this one, but it was so good I drank them all.
Yep.
And now I got the Tropic Force, which is not my favorite of the three. But don't worry, I got a Juice Force after this to kind of...
Gotcha. You know, cleanse the palate, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right, so I was going to say, on our last episode, right, it was kind of more like a interview, you know what I mean? Very scripted. I had like a million questions I threw at you, right? And it was very like segmented and all that kind of stuff, right? This is really just a couple bros just chilling, talking, right? And I want to just kind of like spitball some ideas off you when it comes to content and all that kind of stuff, right? Now, when you said like you posted the video about Scorn, right? And then or just posting a video in general, and then, you know, it'll go up a little bit. Maybe people are looking for that, like the Dark Souls 3 thing with the boss, you know, it'll go up a little bit, and then it'll just completely like wipe off the face of the planet for like 6 months, and then it'll come back, right? So, something that is so important, like you said, is or what you're insinuating is that consistency, right? Posting something and just putting something out, right? Something that hindered me so much in my content creation journey is, especially when I was following Blood Hunt, the video had to be amazing. It had to be perfect. It had to be like, the gameplay had to be good. I had to get the win at the end of the video. I had to show the thing, and it had to be perfect, and I couldn't run into any glitches, right? And it made me literally just not want... Oh, the music stopped. That's fine. It makes this more intense. No, it made me literally just not want to post content, right? It made me not
Yeah.
want to post content because it had to be like content was no longer fun. It was this job. It had to be perfect. It had to be this like thing that like I couldn't mess up at all. And that's never what content's supposed to be. Content is supposed to be fun. It's this thing that you're driven to do and it's this passion. And yes, of course, it can become a job, right? It can
Mhm.
become a career, but in it becoming a career and becoming something greater, something larger, right, that has the possibility to generate revenue or get you in contact with sponsorships, brands,
Mhm.
have amazing reach, all this kind of stuff, right? It is also something that begins with a passion and a drive, right? And if you kind of lose that passion and the drive and it just becomes this job, it just becomes numbers, it just becomes creating this content that like you're not even really thinking about, it's just I have to do this, not I get to do this, I get to create
Mhm.
this was fun to do, I have to do this because it's my job. That's
Yeah.
not content. You know what I mean?
Well, I do, but I mean, it always it comes back to a discussion of what you truly want.
Right.
Um,
If you're wanting to do this for
and
fun, I mean,
yeah,
entirely completely do it for fun, right?
you
Like
know,
doesn't.
when you have a good clip, you can post a good clip. If you don't have a good clip, don't get a good clip. But then you have to be honest with yourself
Mm,
because if you're telling yourself, you know what, I'm just here for a good time, not a long time. I got this funny gaming clip. I might as well post it. Well, then you need to be okay with the fact that that video might get 200 views.
mhm.
Uh, it might generate a comment or two. It might get a subscriber. And if you're at all in that situation, you're like, damn, was that even worth it? Well, you're not being honest with yourself because now you're clearly not here for fun.
Right.
Um, and that's just kind of, but and that goes alien to like how we as humans uh do things. We when we put effort into something, there is effort we want to receive back. That's how we get dopamine. That's how we feel accomplished. That's how we do things. I work hard. If I sacrifice more of my free time at work, I'm hoping I get more. I get a bonus. I get a larger bonus. Maybe I'm up for a raise later this year. Maybe I'm up for a promotion. When I start doing this with like content, like if I go out of my way to learn a specific edit on YouTube, one of those things where it's a quick 20-minute tutorial that should have been 3 minutes. So you're skipping around the video trying to find out how to do this one thing that you saw a YouTuber do,
Yeah.
right? You
Yep.
want that to be recognized. Obviously, you're going to feel some satisfaction seeing it live, seeing it done. But I can't tell you how many times I told myself, like, well, numbers are down, but I am having fun. But then I realized I'd researched the game I wanted to play for 5 hours. I had made
Yeah.
sure that I had a relevant stream media to go with the game. I thought of different ways the community could interact with the game I was playing. And when none of that happened, I was like, well, that was a waste of my time. So it is this, it's difficult to truly be honest with yourself. And the reality is just because we live in a society, Jesus Christ, I just went, the society. We live in a world
No, no, you're good. You're
where
good. You're good.
if you want
In a
to
world.
live, you need to make a certain amount of money.
Right.
That money goes up or down depending on how and where you live. And there are some people who want to make that money by posting things on the internet.
Hmm.
And in order to do that, it requires a certain level of discipline that may not feel like a job, but rivals the amount of time on a job. The company I work for doesn't
Absolutely.
solely pay me because I'm pretty good at what I do, and I'm pretty good at it. I'm also available 40 hours a week. 4 weeks of, or what is that? 320 hours a month that I will be available to do X, Y, or Z if they show need it. And on some level, like you, you are employing yourself to get this YouTube channel up and running and having a steady stream of content. The one way we know for sure to have a successful revenue generating YouTube channel is for content to be regularly uploaded. And so it's kind of just like you kind of on some level, like, right, obviously have passion for it. Don't once you're that meme at the guy at the computer who's like dead and doesn't really like clearly doesn't want to be there, right? Like your videos will suffer. But I mean, we know the path to success, or one of the recipes for success outside of, luck, knowing people, timing, that sort of stuff. But it's kind of just the reality.
Yeah, you definitely have to put in a certain level of work. And honestly, do you think have you seen a influx in creators who have kind of just like given up over time? Have you seen that at all?
I mean, it's come and goes. I think about the people that I started playing Dauntless with, and I can
Yeah.
look through my DMs,
Yeah.
and we're talking late 2017, 2018. Um, couple of them I still talk to. Couple of them they might as well be dead in all intents and purposes, since their Twitter's gone, their TikTok's gone, their
Right,
Twitch is
right.
gone. They just deleted
Content
and burned
wise.
everything to the ground.
Really?
And
Like entirely.
yeah, like
Wow.
full on, and not even a goodbye kind of shit. Just
Wow.
vanished. And I respect it. I respect it. Um, I've seen people pivot. I've seen people go more to moderating and hanging out other people's content. Um, that sort of stuff. Like, I think about probably the 10 people that I was closest to back in closed beta Dauntless days. I think two of them are still regularly streaming.
Wow. Wow. And that I mean, and that's all just mainly from Dauntless or kind of just all together?
These were creators who exclusively were creating content for and with Dauntless,
Okay.
and uh, have all either gone on to do something else. One of them, I think you're familiar with DS the original, right?
Yes. Yes, of
Yeah,
course.
he's
Dude,
transitioned into doing just
big
these
body.
insane,
Dude,
like,
that guy
physical
is
workouts.
huge.
Yeah,
That dude
I
is
think he just did like a
jacked.
700-pound like
Yeah.
lift
Yeah,
and
yeah,
walk
yeah.
for like 30 yards or something like that. It was nuts.
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it. I mean, obviously he works out every single day, has a home gym, and he's built like a brick shit house. Yeah.
He's absolutely freaking massive, dude. Like
Yep.
I saw him on Twitter once because I like you're saying kind of like vanishing like out of nowhere, right? I had seen like there's so many people from Blood Hunt or Dauntless or various different games I've played where it's like, oh, you have these friends, you got these people, they make content, you guys are talking, and then they're just gone. You know what I mean? You're like, where'd they go? You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that was one of the things that I noticed with DS. I was like, this one day I was just randomly, I was like, I haven't seen DS in a while. And literally like the next day I saw him like, posted it up in the mirror, like all jacked. And I was like, oh snap. I was like, look at my boy. I was like, okay.
Yep.
I was like, that's what's up, right? No, so I definitely understand like, transitioning and like changing career paths entirely, maybe like completely away from content or just a different form of content, which of course we'll get more into with, going from like gaming content to car content, maybe more IRL content, and then just maybe potentially backseating content just in general, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like, dude, the amount of people that I've seen come into the space of content creation, and I don't know if they have an unreal expectation of it, or maybe there's just not enough. Excuse me. Maybe there's just not enough information out there to like, this is what you can expect, right? I mean, I remember, quote, big YouTubers saying specific things about the YouTube partner program, and I was like, okay, cool. When I get there, I can expect this. And then I got there and it's not there, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's just misinformation or if like there are people legitimately like gatekeeping information. I don't know, right?
Well,
But
it's also an ever-changing landscape.
yes, absolutely.
How many times has the Twitch partner program changed in some way from,
I mean, take the
you know,
last 6 months, right?
right? Um, you know, uh, Imagine, for all of the fears that I had and issues I had, imagine, building your entire career on TikTok, and then your country might be banning it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's and then they're always changing, and then even TikTok changes their, um, what they pay out, how they pay out all the time. It's, these companies at no point do they even, I, there is not a lot of information coming from sources of truth. there is a ton of information coming from millions of other people. And it depends, like, the laws that you live, where you live. And just a different example of this, that it even happens somewhat in the real world, where, like, I work for a global company. So when I got onboarded, I was in a giant Zoom call with like 400 people, from people in Canada to Mexico, um, people who were calling in from different countries, different hours. It was pretty wild. It was really cool. And it was wild going through it because at one point in time, they were doing a, um, they were doing a, onboarding on signing up for healthcare.
Hmm.
Um, and the speaker got on. He's like, "All right, well, if you don't live in America, just take the next 45 minutes off because all you got to do is sign some paper with your government and you get health insurance. If you're if you're in America, you have some options here. If you live on the West Coast, you're going to join this call. If you live on the East Coast, you're going to join this call. Depending on where you lived, you had to go to a different call to help sign up for like healthcare." And the same is true for uh partner YouTube partners in Canada, YouTube partners in New Zealand. The government regulations, all this thing is different. Like, and at some level, even some of your states are going to be different because, like, you got to think about your taxes. So it doesn't surprise me that you're never going to get a one-to-one experience. Because I mean, I know Voodoo Ranger partners that make more money than I do. I'm not surprised. They also get 2,000 people every time they stream. I would expect they cost a little bit more, right? Like, so it was like there was Zach Zach Bussy. God, I love him so much. On Twitter, he like follows and reports on a lot of Twitch news.
The funny thing is, he actually literally just covered Gilded, right? And
oh, really?
Dude, oh my gosh, man. I was so like, sub conversation real quick. I was so sad about that, dude, because you knew like way back, dude, my 21st birthday, right?
Mm-hmm.
My 21st birthday, we were in Gilded, we were talking, and like I'd already been on there a year, and you were just like, I don't know, like maybe, right, like it's not like as known as Discord, and I was like, no, it's cool, dude, it's cool. And then like everything broke, it didn't work, the camera was like glitchy, all this kind of stuff, and I was like, no, man, just give it time, it's fine, right? It's got all these benefits, and it's like so good, it's so cool, right? And then literally out of freaking nowhere, and like people told me, like when I was wanting to go from Discord to Gilded, people told me, they're like, dude, like, I don't know, it's backed by Roblox, like that, it's a little like red flaggy, right? And I was like, no, it's totally cool. Like, it's not a requirement to make a, Roblox account. Like, it has no affiliation, no connection. It's backed by them, but there's nothing that's going on with that, right? And everybody was like, okay, all right, whatever. And then a lot of people told me, they're like, I mean, dude, literally the only reason I'm here is because of you, right? Like, if you were not on here, I would not be here, right? And I was like, wow, like I'm trying to like make this a good place. I'm trying to make this cool. You know what I mean? Right. And then literally out of freaking nowhere, no preparation, no time, no like, hey, if, we don't get enough signups or we don't get this or we don't get that, in 6 months time, we're going to potentially have to nothing. Literally, hey guys, you have a month to do this. And if you don't, all of your Gilded access is revoked. And we were like, literally me and the Wolfpack, we looked at each other and we were like, hey, let's get the freak out of here. And we dealt
it. How it worked.
We got out of, we didn't waste no time, bro. And the reason I say Zach is because he literally just covered it. He was like, the Discord competitor Gilded after 3 years, now requires you to so-and-so. And people that I have, like, I've seen before in, different content creation spaces commented on that. And they were like, well, guess there's no competition no more. Well, this, whatever. And I was like, dude, how crazy is it that you have a foothold, you have a platform, you have something that, I mean, they had partners, they had probably hundreds of thousands of people, and they're just like, nope, don't need it, and completely alienated their entire freaking community. Not community, entire everything.
Oh yeah, I mean,
gone.
They just
gone.
Decided to ruin it.
Like, what? You know what I mean? But no, I thought that was just freaking crazy. I was like, wow. But no, no, that just reminded me, because he actually talked about that. I was like, wow, that's crazy. Because no, it was not mainstream. Nobody was talking about it. Nobody was like, Gilded has just been completely off the grid. It's been like the niche of the niche of the niche. Like, the people that knew about it and were over there, had their communities. but that was it. It was never
Mhm.
something that people were just like, oh, am I going to make a Discord server? Am I going to make a Guilded server? Nobody was talking about it. It was always Discord server, right? It was
Yep.
Discord server
Mhm.
or no server. And then Guilded pops up as like, hey, don't make a server over here because we're making this horrible change to the TOS that
Yep.
you have to do. And it's like, oh my freaking gosh, right? And then it just became massive mainstream and people are covering it and they're just like, yeah, this is terrible. And I was like, wow. But no, that
Yep.
reminded me of that. I was like, what are they gaining by doing that? You know?
I don't know. Maybe it wasn't profitable enough, and this is a good way to chase people off so the project gets killed.
Yeah, but like after three, we were on the platform for 3.5 years.
I know.
Nothing. No like 6 months in advance, year in advance. Hey guys, maybe possibly nothing. And here's the part that really got me too. They went radio silent on Twitter a month before the release.
Oh yeah.
Complete silence. Nothing. And their last update was like spring 2023. That was the last time the platform ever like got a massive update. So they're potentially probably just trying to completely kill the platform. Just get rid of it. And it's like it makes me try to like take a step back and be like, why now? Like what for what reason now? You know?
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where unless you're in the know, you just have no idea.
Right. But you were talking about Zach. What happened with Zach?
Oh no, I'm trying to remember now.
You were saying something about Twitch and Zach Boosie. Something like that. My
yeah.
apologies to interrupt.
No,
you on
you're
that.
fine. You're totally fine. No. But yeah. It must have been something he covered, something he updated, and I think we're gonna have to move on unless I get bumped back. I just kind of like, yeah, why was I talking about Zach?
No, I'm so sorry about that. No,
That's all right.
The funny thing is, like an hour from now, you're gonna be like, "Oh, dude, I remember." Like it's like
100%.
It's like it's like that with me all the time. I'm just like, and it's gone. I have no idea. And then like 45 minutes later, I'm like, "Oh yeah, you guys remember that thing that?" Like, oh man, Nemesis, good to see you, man. Welcome in. Yes, that whole Gilded saga was wild, man. Absolutely freaking wild.
And I just checked their Twitter. They still have not.
They still haven't
posted anything about it.
Oh my gosh. Their last post was March, April, something like that, right? Yeah, wow.
Something like that. Yeah.
No, that's freaking wild, dude. And it's like, again, like they didn't warn anybody. They didn't prepare anybody. And it was funny too, because one of my buddies who has, he's got other buddies that, been on Gilded for a while, and they were like actual like partners, like not like affiliated, no, the partners with them. And they were putting in their Gilded bios, like middle finger Gilded. Like
dude. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, anytime you have something like that, you're going to get some pretty harsh and rough reactions.
It's just like, what, like, so actually, speaking on like companies and like making big decisions like that, as somebody who has played a lot of Tarkov, right? You are one of the only people that I know that actually has played Tarkov a pretty like extensive amount, right? What were your thoughts on their change to like when they brought out the whole PvE thing, and then when they basically that whole situation?
Yeah, I mean, the reality is like that space has been so thoroughly destroyed by the really, really poor communications that they've shown. It's at a situation where like there's so much bad communication that good communication even gets turned worse. It is sorry to say and I can't speak for any other language other than English, but it is the natural recourse of you saying you don't care what the players want. I'm making the game I want to make. And having somebody who does not fully grasp English be your English communicator. And it also doesn't help that I don't think the CEO, creator, owner of the company should be the community manager, but he has made himself the community manager, and he sucks at it. Their decisions, not surprising. There has been years of conspiracy theories that they don't work so hard to remove cheats because cheats are what cheaters are what are purchasing the game and keeping the game afloat with revenue. Like,
Hmm.
and that's just like I don't think it's actually true, but the reality is like they wanted to do this wild, large, huge, massively expensive live service game with only one-time purchases. Uh, Never mind that one-time purchase was $150, which is pretty expensive.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. I mean, we have people that are like, I don't want to pay 70, so you got to think
yeah,
150.
yeah.
Like, wow.
And obviously that was not the that's not the base, but anybody who was serious pretty quickly was like, okay, it is just enough pay to win where it makes your user experience in a game that is already such a brutal experience that much better.
Hmm.
And so it didn't surprise me that they want to do more content. Why? Like initially before that, um they went a different they went a different path by um offering different clothes for microtransactions, not unlike the way um Call of Duty will do like operator skins or whatever.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, that wasn't super well. Like I just don't know why they didn't lean into that. And so they came up with other ones, and then suddenly they came out with this really, really bad, uh, like super, like even more pay to win with the offline PvP that you had to pay for, which was frustrating. But then people quickly realized that that's a lie. It's not really offline. You can still get disconnected from the offline PvP mode. Um,
Mm.
there were some other items that you got. It just made no sense. And it was such an alien in game effective currency RMT that has not really been seen before. And
And it just
the Escape from
totally came
Tarkov
like
devs,
it just
yeah,
came like left field too. Like nobody was
it
prepared for
did. It was
this.
out of left field. It doesn't make sense. Um, Again, when you look at what like they firmly believe Tarkov is supposed to be versus where Tarkov is, um, it doesn't look so hot. Uh, and then it is weird when they got onto releasing a second game that you had to pay for. Um, if you didn't have the $150 pack, and that second game isn't very good. So
Mm.
I think they were banking on that being a lot better than it actually is. Um, I think they're just I don't think they have a revenue stream that can keep up with the plans for the game. And so I think when you take a little mixture of desperation, um, a willingness to kind of like fund your operation, big dreams, and bad English, and you try and ship this to an English audience, it's not going to go well.
And again, this just brings me back to the gilded thing. Why now? Why such poor communication? Like you have this great product. I mean, what would you say like kind of the average player base was for Tarkov? Like how many people were like logging on monthly?
Oh, I mean,
Like I mean that
we don't
couple.
have those numbers, and I don't think Tarkov has ever really released those numbers. It routinely does pretty well on Twitch if we're using that silly little metric.
Okay.
So let's look at say from Tarkov. So right now it sits at about 20,000 views. Um, it is very, very, very late wipe. So it's already, and it's the next month and a half will be very, very slow. Your three main people who stream it quite a bit are still breaking 1.5K viewers, which isn't bad. Um, so honestly, for this, the directory for where it's at, it's pretty healthy. Come August, that's when they said a wipe's going to be. Your top three will be at 15, 20,000 plus viewers for 18 hours a day. Um, and so it'll jump back up. And and I wanted to go back to something you said about like why now.
Mhm.
Um, I don't want to make a comparison here that Gilded that came out of nowhere, and then this came out of nowhere with Tarkov has been bad about communicating for years.
Mhm.
Um, they routinely have um, pretty poor, poorly expressed ideas, information that doesn't really make a lot of sense, stuff that ends up having to get data mined. There are people who, there are data miners, um, and just in case everybody doesn't know, every single game you have on your computer, there is files that are in there that are not necessarily in the game or accessible in the game. They could be content that didn't fully get mated but didn't get deleted. There could be future content that isn't accessible right now if it's a live service game. And there's kind of two lines of thoughts here. I personally believe if you install something on my computer, I have the right to see it. I don't really give a shit if it's supposed to be hidden. I don't care if it's not accessible in the game. You're putting data on my computer. That is my computer. I'm allowed to look into it.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not publishing those publishing those things, that's a whole nother thing, another whole nother conversation. So there have been data miners where they've met Nikita, the CEO, owner, and community manager, essentially, for the game. And in person, he goes, "Yeah, you're fine. We understand. It happens." Then 2 weeks later, that person gets banned.
Yeah.
Like,
So the communication
is unbelievably inconsistent. Yeah, and
it's just too many. I mean, do you think it's like too many chefs in the kitchen, right? Like somebody says yes, another person says no, or is it just?
I think it is one chef with way too much power, way too much visibility, and way too much communication. I think it is a lack of respect for a player base that hasn't shown a whole lot of respect back, and I feel like they, and at the same time, because of this poor communication, a habit has been formed at Battle State Games that if there's something you don't like in the game, get enough social media people yelling at the devs and they will change it.
Interesting.
That's insane. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. It leaves room for so much negativity. It just is it's a really it's a recipe for disaster. And it turns out every time there's a bad choice, there's a social media campaign led by one of about 10 people where they get a bunch of mouth breathers who are just really upset and don't have other things going on. Like, and for some of these people, I get it, right? Like, if my job was to stream Escape from Tarkov and I saw a change where I'm like, holy shit, this is a threat to my wallet, like this change, and you only give me an option to get angry on Twitter, well, that's what I'm going to do. And we already know that on social media, negativity works better than positivity, than looking to create connections, than looking for fun things to say and do. If you're able to get somebody riled up in some drama, you will skyrocket your metrics.
It definitely, people definitely gravitate towards it because you have the people that are like, they want to know what happened, and then you have the other people that are just, they just want to sit in the comment section and just be like, oh, I want to find out all the dirty little details, and it's just like,
it is.
But I mean, absolutely, that is how it goes. I mean, if you have drama or you have like information on anybody or anything, you're absolutely going to have those people that are going to, you're going to have the people that have no idea what's going on, and then they're going to start asking like, oh, what's going on? And then you're going to have the people that know everything, and they're like, hey, this da 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 da, and it's going to start this whole big old long conversation, and next thing you know, this whole thing stemmed from one person who complained in a Twitch clip that went crazy, and then it got massive traffic, and then the game changed because of this. And it's like, that's all it took? Like, what? You know what I mean? And that's something, like, I, not naming names, but I have seen that happen multiple times in games that I love that were on the smaller end, right, of community and whatnot. Now, I love indie developers, right? Like, I love the fact, like, when there's a, like, 1 developer, 2 developers, 5, 10 developers, under 20 developers, and they make this amazing product, right? Or like AA or something like that, right? I think that's absolutely fantastic, and I've played some of the best games I've ever played from those developers, right? Well, the only problem is when you have this community, right? When you have those kind of communities that rally around you, and then it is so niche, right? Somebody's going to become the top dog, Somebody always becomes the top dog. There's this streamer that says something, or there's this thing that happens, and then that is the person that everybody goes to for their source of information. That person's word is the gospel, and they know everything. And oh, you know what? That person said that on the stream, and it was really annoying. I saw that, and actually, you know what? I agree. The devs should change that. And then because it is so small, and of course we see this on larger scale in the course of like Tarkov, but especially in that smaller scale, I've seen legitimate like some person, a couple hundred people watching them or whatever, will say, "Oh, dude, I can't believe this thing is in the game." The next patch, it's out of the game, and it's like, guys. Let's say, for instance, you have 20,000 people playing the game. Because this one person complained about that thing does not mean taking it out of the game is going to suit the other 19,999 people playing the game, right? But it's just because this person has traffic, this person has a platform, this person has something that, it's like it's almost like smaller devs or even larger devs in the case of Tarkov feel like they have to listen to that. And it's like, no, make the game that you want to make the game that you're making. And if you have good feedback from your community, like, you can listen to feedback, you can listen to ideas, right? I've seen really good situations where they're like, a couple of these ideas were community driven, right? But it doesn't change it because somebody complained on Twitter. It doesn't change it because, some big streamer got really mad about this thing, and now, you know what I mean, right? Like, have you seen the stuff with Fortnite and Ninja and all that, right?
No, I haven't.
Everybody has been like quote tweeting, reposting, like putting on TikTok, everything. Like TikTok's or what do you call it? Like Ninja spazzing out at the new season of Fortnite, and he's freaking out, and he's like, "I can't stand the cars, blah blah blah." 2 days later, they were nerfed.
Yeah,
and it's like, dog, like, are the cars a little excessive? Are they a little too much? Yeah, sure. Are the freaking turbo guns and all that crazy stuff is a little much? Yeah, sure. But it's a game. It's Fortnite. Have fun with it, and if you're not having fun with it, jump off, go play something else, or go touch grass. You know what I mean? Like, go do something else, right? But it's this thing where it's just like, I don't know. It's like, I gotta put my thoughts out there. I gotta put my opinion out there, and then it becomes the gospel, and it's like, dog.
Yeah, in my experience, I have unintentionally done this. And I feel like one time it was relatively deserved, and one time it was definitely not. I'll start with the one time that it was deserved. Was actually back in Dauntless. Again, another small team, that kind of stuff. And there's a weapon in there, that is the Warpike, which is one right there. But it's like a special one where
I love that you still have that. I love that. That's so awesome.
It can fire a beam, it can fire like a straight beam at the monster. And at one point in time, there was a way that once you got the weapon, if you did, I think, a jump roll straight into the beam, your beam would be never ending. It would go on forever.
Oh.
And you could then, and because of the way Dauntless was such a simple game at the time, you could stand on a cliff where the monster couldn't get, and the monster would just run in circles while you just beamed it, and it would die. It couldn't get to you, it couldn't kill you, it couldn't attack you. And if you were doing a group hunt, it got to a point where I swear 30 to 50%, at least 2 people were doing that glitch. And it just kind of like, it ruins it a little bit. Like, it just like, it ruins the vibe. It doesn't feel good. It's not fun to play with. It's not fun to play against. And so then I would be sitting there putting my flag in front of them because it would stop the laser. So now, instead of just playing the game and having fun, I'm running around chasing this guy with a flag.
Having to try to like moderate the game instead of like playing it.
Twitter because I sent in the partner Discord, I was told, we're not going to pause it because pausing it might take as much work as fixing it, and the fix isn't scheduled for a while. And I'm like, that's unacceptable. This is a game like, this actively makes me not want to play your game. And at the time, all my stream was Dauntless content. If less people wanted to play the game, that immediately affected my content. It affected my space. It affected my viewership. It affected how people would talk about it. I couldn't go a stream without a debate about the legitimacy of the like invulnerable, like the infinite laser. And so that made my day worse with their inaction. So I didn't mind trying to scrum up a little like social medium kerfuffle, because if they're not going to change it and it's actively making my time worse, I'm going to say something.
And you have the right to as well. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then the one that I'm not really proud of because I knew better is with Wayfinder and that
really
with that squid the squid boss Ryan.
I literally just beat the boss. I literally just beat that boss. Wait, hold on. The one where you have to get the orb off the sirens and then attach. Yep. Okay, literally just beat that boss in Echoes.
Yeah. On release, that boss was so buggy and horrible.
Oh, it still is. It's
yeah.
still,
I beat it. It is better, but it's doable now.
Yeah,
like it's doable. But like before, because it has those platforms that you can jump to, right?
Yep.
Like,
and the entire field turns purple, and then you just take 200.
Yeah, but you would just fall through the platforms, like unlock.
Yeah.
You couldn't do it. It was luck whether or not you could actually make it. And it was just awful. And I still don't like the fight. I think it's a bad fight, but now I just don't care as much. But I was like, I finished it and I was like, this is the worst damn fight I think I've ever experienced in my entire life, and I would be embarrassed if it was part of my game.
Damn.
And it had gotten like a bit of traction, and then I ended up getting a DM from one of the CMs who I have a lot of respect for, and he's like, hey, we saw your tweet. Could you elaborate a little more? I was like, yeah, okay. That's valid.
Yeah.
Now, I was still mad, and I wrote them a 9-page document about how they had no right to release that monster.
9-page?
Yeah. I wrote a fucking essay on why I think they shouldn't have that thing in the game. Yeah. But it is what it is. And that's the reality. Like, it comes down to like, again, audiences, niche sizes, that sort of thing. You got to be smart. In the end of the day, even bad developers, even developers that they're making things that you consider greedy, decisions that make no sense. When I wrote something like, I would be embarrassed to have this in my game, the people reading that were not the ones who made that choice. They were another cog in the wheel, getting a deadline done, getting it out, making sure that their part of the pie was cooked to the best of their ability. They might not have had as much time as they wanted. We now know that Wayfinder was in some sort of development hell with DE and everything like that.
Oh, dude, that whole situation is just really unfortunate.
It's just the reality. Like, it's how life works. I wish every single developer had all of the money and all the time to make sure that every single thing is perfect, and that just isn't correct. And we already know, based on what you and I talked about, do you want content, steady content, or do you want a developer to wait till everything is perfect and you never get anything?
Right. And we've seen developers try to make the absolute, perfect thing, and then the game is delayed a year, 2 years, 3 years, something like that, and then when it comes out, it's not perfect. People's expectations are so high because it was going to be this level of quality that was so good. I mean, take Cyberpunk for example. Cyberpunk made the best comeback ever, right?
Yeah,
and it truly is one of the best freaking RPGs in the world, right? It truly is freaking amazing. But it had one of the literal worst launches ever. That literally there were people like modeling, okay, we can't be a Cyberpunk. We can't allow our game to be like that. We can't let our game launch like that, right? So you absolutely have the opportunity and the possibility to come back from that, right? But when you build up this level of hype, and when you build up this level of hype and then you don't meet it, you don't put out that level, right? You're going to attract every form of negativity, even if it's just like
Absolutely.
constructive criticism, right? Which isn't negative, right? But it's like it's looking at your thing and it's kind of picking it apart a little bit. This is how it could be better, right? And then you're gonna pull the people that literally pull death threats on them, and we're like, you guys are awful, and you guys need to do right, all this kind of stuff for a video game, right? But also,
Yeah, and so I
it
mean,
was
we can go back to Wayfinder,
Mhm.
back when Wayfinder had to announce that they were doing the single player version. Um, you know, there were people, and you're completely okay to be upset and mad that a game that you wanted to hope to be a MMO light turned into a single player co-op experience. That's totally fine.
Mhm.
But there were people who were like, it is not enough. I would they honestly would prefer that the studio close down and the game get deleted than them get a single player experience. And one, that's that's an insane take. Like
Mhm.
to think that you would rather people lose their jobs than you get the game than get a light version of the game that you backed early access.
Mhm.
Um, and this is like when it comes to like bad games, bad game launches, less than stellar, uh, goals not met. No one wants you to enjoy a game more than the people who developed it.
Well said.
They all want like even like games that have less than stellar reputations, whether it's Bethesda with Starfield, Ubisoft, and a number of the things that they've made some pretty poor choices. No one wanted you to enjoy Starfield more than the developers at Bethesda. That's it. It's just like it. And I think it's pretty easy to forget that we are talking about video games, and video games are important. They're art. They deserve a seat at the table when getting you know, good, honest criticism. But you know, we already know that we apparently have lost the ability to have that conversation, and everything's got to be the best thing of all time. Otherwise, it's trash, right?
Yeah. And man, I do. We could talk about this all day when it comes to movies, comes to games, comes to
Oh yeah.
freaking everything. Uh, I mean, movies nowadays costing $400 million, but they feel like they're like some like student project. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yep.
yeah. It's like how did how like you know what I mean? Like I think it comes back. Have you seen Fallout?
I have.
Okay, and you made it to the end. You saw what happened at the end.
Yeah, yeah. I watched the whole thing.
Okay, cool. I think like part of what happens, right, is you have the super passionate devs, you have the super passionate actors, you have everybody that sets it up, right? But the people that are funding it, the
Mm-hmm.
publishers, the people that are backing things, oftentimes, especially in more recent times, are so disconnected from what is actually happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
That they make this wild thing and they're just like, people are going to love this because this is popular in Hollywood, and it's like, dog, nobody's asking for that. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
wanted that, right? Just like you don't have to make the most crazy high quality $400 million movie. Take Godzilla minus one. I hadn't seen it
Yep.
yet, right?
Yep.
I waited for it to come to Netflix, not because I didn't want to go pay for the movie, because the movie, oh my god, I would go
Yeah.
see the movie in theaters 5 times. It's so good.
Yep. Yeah.
But I just, time and everything, I just didn't get to see it in the theaters. And I wish I got to, with
Mm-hmm.
popcorn in hand, large Coke, right? It got to
Yeah.
sit there, and
Absolutely.
it was so freaking good. And when you look at it and you think about this, you're like, they said their number was like about 15 million, right?
Yeah. 15 minutes.
Let's just say 30 million, okay? Let's bump it up. Let's say 30 million. Everything that they did, okay, like, sponsorships, getting the word out, making everything put together, all this kind of stuff. 30, all the actors, all the
Yep.
sound effects, everything. $30 million. And they
Mm-hmm.
made what they didn't get an Oscar. What Emmy? What they
Oh, it got an Oscar for
Okay.
I think a special effects Oscar.
You're right. So they got like a bunch of awards. Okay, they got a bunch of
Mm-hmm.
awards, super like unbelievably respected and all this kind of stuff. And come to find out, the director himself is an editor, and he was partly making scenes himself and like
Yeah.
modeling things. And they said like what the water scene where Godzilla's in the water and he's like chasing the boat was like 5 terabytes of data. And
Yeah.
everybody is working their absolute hardest to make this great movie. And then it is so unbelievably well received because it's genuinely a good movie. It's not greedy. It's not trying to push agendas. It's not trying to make this big giant thing and make this huge
Well,
blockbuster. You know what I mean?
I would. I. Okay. You're right. I would not say that a movie that explicitly attacks the World War II
Hmm.
Japanese government's treatment of their soldiers and the long-lasting effects that had on the survivors of said war, as it doesn't have an agenda. It's just not one that's commonly pushed in Hollywood movies.
Right. Right.
But I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's
It's not trying to I misspoke. It's not trying to be Hollywoodized is what I'm trying to say, right?
it was a very Japanese movie.
Right. And it's
We
just
saw this with Parasite in I want to say 2017, could be 8, it could be 16. That's a Korean movie that is just Korean through and through, and it does a really good job. And I mean, the reality is like we know that costs to produce films in the United States are unbelievably bloated. Um, there's a friend of mine who I'll get you in contact with. He works as an editor, and scenes have 30, 40, 50 different editors, just individual scenes.
yeah, for a scene.
And
Wow.
it's and it's absolutely wild. And so yeah, when a company spends $300 million on a movie, they want to make $600 million movies. They want to make $600 million
And then
back.
so the post production, all that kind of stuff. That's the 300 million. Then getting the word out and getting all that kind of stuff. That's another 100 million. So then
But
it's
I
like
mean,
you think about, okay, now in order to just break even, you guys got to make $400 million dollars. And what
it's not
what is
enough
it going to take to get butts in seats, right?
it's not enough that a movie has to make $400 million. It has to set up an entire cinematic universe that people are going to get excited to see the next movie.
Yep.
That is getting teased by the other one. We saw that implosion happen with the Mummy remake.
The Dark
The Tom
Universe,
Cruise one.
or yeah, because they were
Where
trying
it
to
was
set up like
it was so focused on making sure that you knew you were going to get this extended MonsterVerse thing that they forgot to actually make a movie that's fun to watch.
right. And so apparently, I don't know if this is 100% true. You can correct me if you know this, or anybody else can correct me if they know this. But the like set photo of like all the actors, right? That were they were like sitting all there, Dracula Untold guy, and then Tom Cruise, and then everybody that was like getting ready to get their own dark fantasy movie in this franchise. Apparently, none of them were actually there. It was all photoshopped in.
Oh, interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
that wouldn't surprise me. I mean, they had already like there was just everything was going wrong for them. At that point in time, people were already having, I think, cinematic universe fatigue. The DC universe was barely hanging on, and we've seen the latest Marvel content has not really been up to snuff as what people fell in love with back in the 2010s. I mean, it was bad from the start.
Yeah, and it's crazy too, because it's like you see the thing of like this massive universe being built, right? And you see it be successful, you see it work, and then everybody wants a piece of the pie, right? Everybody wants to make these eight movie giant or like trilogies and all this kind of stuff, right? Take what do you call it? The Hobbit, for example.
Yeah,
Apparently,
Lord of the Rings,
yeah, Peter Jackson wanted to make that one movie, and they were like, no, make it 3. And it's like, but there's not enough content in the book to make it 3, draw it out, and it's like, and fill it with like so much stuff in the middle, and it's like, but that's not what happens. And they're like, doesn't matter, make 3 movies out of it, and it's like, great. So then it comes back to like Twitter or like, people like complaining or like blaming people, right? And it's just like,
Mhm.
but that wasn't Peter Jackson's fault. You know what I mean? He was put in that role, and it's like he kind of had to do it. You know what I mean? Or like in another situation, it's like, oh, this boss is terrible in this game, or this happened, and this is awful. I can't stand this. This needs to be taken out of the game. And it's like the people that were put in the position that made that thing tried to make they exactly like you said. The people
Mhm.
working on Starfield, they want you to enjoy Starfield more than anybody else because
Mhm.
they created that, right? And it just so
Mhm.
happens that it wasn't well received. It just so happens
Yeah.
that, it didn't come out at the right time, or maybe, it just like this thing happened, or like whatever it is, right?
Mhm.
But they want you to enjoy their product. They want you to have a good time. And it just so
Yeah.
happens that, the people that are funding it, the publishers, the whatever, don't, like, again, like going back to like the whole disconnected thing, don't really understand or don't really care to understand what people actually want to see, what people actually want to get engaged in, right? Which is
Well,
another
yeah, and I
thing.
mean, well, it's and looping back in like a live stream, for example.
Mhm.
You are the editor, you are the producer, you are the
You're
creator, you are
every
the
role.
actor, you are
Yes.
the director, you're
Yes.
everything. And I have spent money because on some level, like if I'm buying some beers, buying a game, buying some other stuff, spending some time creating something, I am in a sense spending that's my budget that I'm working for January and On's movie that will take place on Wednesday the 3rd, right? Some shit like
Right.
that.
Right.
And there have been times where I've finished stream and I was like, that sucked.
Hmm.
I sucked. Like the game, I clearly wasn't enjoying the game, but I tried to force it and I fucking lied. Like I was trying to like make something work. I remember having moments where I'm like, well, and I'm going through, it was like, well, my reaction to that sucked because I wasn't in the right space. I wasn't enjoying myself. I wasn't actually creating content. I knew I wasn't creating content. I was stuck on camera trying to get it over with. And
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
And do you
there's simply no way that doesn't happen at a larger scale when you start adding 50, 100 people, and it takes a month, 6 months, 2 years to make.
and you have a bunch of different like clashing opinions, or
Yep.
like this would be
Mm-hmm.
good, this would be good, right? And then everybody
Yeah.
starts butting heads, and then scenes get scrapped or whatever. I mean, there are so many in the topic of like movies, there are so many scenes that get scrapped from so many
Mm-hmm.
amazing movies, and people are just like, dude, how did we not get this? Like take Amazing Spider-Man, where
Mm-hmm.
where Ben Parker actually, or not Ben Parker, is it Ben? Yeah, his dad actually meets
Uncle.
him. Yeah, no. Yeah, that's his
Oh
uncle.
no, no.
Yeah, what do you call it? Yeah, not what do you call it? Not Uncle Ben. His
Uncle Ben. Yeah.
actual, yeah, his actual dad meets Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, right? Peter Parker at the grave, and he's just like, I had to go away. I had to get away. I had to protect you. The thing that we were making, all this kind, right? And like it was this heartfelt moment. He's like, you should have never left me. And he's just
Mm-hmm.
tears pouring down his eyes, right? And the entire comment section is like, why did we not get this in the movie? Why was this cut?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And it's like that unfortunately just happens so much on a small scale, on a large scale, right? You see things like that happen so often where you have this great idea, and then there's clashing opinions, there's too many chefs in the kitchen, whatever
Mm-hmm.
it is, and then something doesn't end up happening, something doesn't end up getting made, and then you have the people, you have the community, you have the people, you have the audience that you are serving this to upset, right?
Yeah.
And it's like the whole reason, that you have the platform, you have the whole reason you have the ability to create things and the ability to do things is because the people that they've been watching you this whole time, they've been supporting your journey, and
Mm-hmm.
they want to
Mm-hmm.
see you be great. They want to see you create good things and provide them, high quality or whatever it is, right? And it's somewhere along the line there was a loss of translation, and it's like especially in content creation, my whole thing is like I never want to lose the connection of the community, right? I know that,
Yeah.
people are going to come and go. There's going to be, scheduling conflicts, like things aren't going to work out all the time. Maybe somebody can't show up, right? Maybe there's an alternate universe where we weren't able to do this today, right? Maybe there's an alternate universe where we're talking about something completely freaking different, right? But
Mm-hmm.
my whole thing is the interaction. I want the community. I want the
Yeah.
ability to like make sure that I am serving the reason that I'm even able to do this, right? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it's like if I'm streaming for, you know, 5 people, or if I'm streaming for 5,000 people, I want to make
Yeah.
sure that I never lose how I began. And that's the thing that's like
True.
so frustrating when it comes to like, you know, big movies or whatever. Like you take the Marvel saga, right? This whole thing built up over the course of 10 years, and all these movies, like they all, you know, collided together, and they had
Mhm.
that little end thing that puts you into the next one, and then you got hype for the next one. You're like, oh my gosh, this is gonna happen, and then you had the epic conclusion, and then everything just went, and you're like, man. So now
Yeah.
everybody's just like, dude, what happened? Like 2019 Marvel, like, you know, like I want this so bad, and it's just like, why are we getting all this random stuff, and why is it like trying to do this and
Mhm.
trying to do that? Like, what happened to like great storytelling? And it's like somewhere along the line, there's a possibility that they stopped serving the fans, which are the people that allowed them
Mhm.
to even be in the position that they are.
And so I would caution doing like so using incredibly hyper general words like the community and the fans. Those are two ever changing aspects.
Mhm.
And you are going to be dealing with that. I remember um, when I started doing house tours for a little while, and
Those are
my
so fun.
when I was like decided to get really lazy and do React nights. Um, there were moments where I had higher viewership than I was doing when I was playing video games, and so some of my members, some people of the community loved it. Other people were bored by it. Um, the reality is like they're not a monolith.
Mm.
Fans aren't a monolith. Communities aren't a monolith. Tastes change, times change, something changes.
Growth and
It goes,
development,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It goes back to, and going back to content creation, it makes me think of uh, DS the original and his change. I fully expect 90% of his Dauntless community no longer engages with his content anymore.
Mm.
But he clearly is okay parting ways with those people because he doesn't want to make that content anymore.
Right.
And that is a discussion that you have to have because I can tell you from my own personal experience that the idea of a people pleaser content creator that is like making sure that not even every single, but the majority of their community is happy and engaged and enjoying what they're doing. That is a endless cycle where you will never be able to please anybody. You're just going to not piss off enough people so they stay around.
Mm.
Because in this industry, in this world with content, if every single time or every single month you're not seeing at least some green, whether that's income, followers, subscribers, um, viewership, if you're not seeing metrics constantly go up, it is a matter of time before those metrics or before you just can't do it anymore or you will be alone. And that is simply the reality of online content creation is if number does not go up, number only goes down.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Again, like this goes back to you being honest with yourself about what you truly want. If you're just doing this for fun, this is just a side thing that you're having a good time doing, there's nothing wrong with that. And, you'll do an honest goodbye sometime and that's going to be all right. But if this is job, if this is how you decide to pay your bills, your rent is never going to go back down. It's
Mhm.
only going to go up.
Mhm.
So if you aren't able
Especially
to keep up
especially
with it,
nowadays, man. Shoot.
yeah,
Golly.
if you ain't able to keep up, then you got to find something else to do.
Right.
And it's just the bare bones reality. And this is where I do like feel for the large scale creators because when you make something like Skyrim and it becomes a cornerstone in RPGs in um it is a game that has releases and re-releases, and I think it's probably been ported to more platforms than any other modern semi-modern title. um they expect your next game to go bigger.
Mhm.
It needs to be better. It needs to surpass it in every single way. And they failed like pretty badly. Like I think I put 30 hours into into Starfield, and I'm sure one day I'll kick it back on for a odd playthrough. But it it is one thing, and that's where I realized that I had been lying to myself a little bit, and why I kind of needed to walk away from it.
Yeah. Yeah. And
You know.
actually, and on that note, content creation potentially taking a backseat overall,
Hmm.
transitioning a little bit more to
Yep.
car content. Tell me a little
Yep.
bit, like, what are your thoughts? What was going through your mind when you made that transition, and did that spark really just kind of snap on fire a little bit more, where you're like, that 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 fun that you felt,
Hmm.
is it back, right? Or there was just,
No.
you maybe wanted a
Yeah.
change of a pace, a little change of scenery before you go back to the other thing. Tell me a
Yeah.
little bit
So
about that.
just long story short, I realized I didn't really want to stream the schedule anymore.
Mm.
Um, I had just recently bought in October. I bought a car that I really like, and I've been really digging in and kind of like doing stuff with that. And it's actually really funny. I just popped in my head my last stream on my schedule. I didn't tell anybody. I didn't make a big deal out of it. I didn't want anybody to know. I didn't want them to think that they could buy me and give me money to encourage me to stay. I didn't want them to know that I had kind of broken up about it. I did not want this to be some sort of event.
Mm.
I wanted to finish this game that I was enjoying. I wanted that to be a thing. But my ring light died midstream, and this is the ring
Ooh.
light I bought to stream. And I was like sitting there playing, and the light just dies, and I'm like, all right, so even the lights know this shit's got to go. Even the lights know it's time to wrap it up. Uh, and it was, I don't know, it was just really wild. Anyway, yeah. So the car stuff, it's fascinating. Has it lit a spark? Not really. Uh, am I really passionate about playing around with my rig? And am I going to film it sometime? Yeah, I'll do that. And I think that's kind of what I'm happy with. Posted a few memes. I put some stuff on my TikTok, my Instagram, my Twitter
They're
about it.
those are absolutely hilarious, by the way. I really enjoy those.
It has been kind of wild joining a new community, because car content isn't a whole lot different than streaming content. The only thing I've really found the difference is with cars, people get online just to argue. Like, that's what they do.
Mm.
That's their entire vibe, is they get online to argue about every single thing. Whether your car is slower, your car is not as pretty, the wheels you got are generic, you're not doing enough of your own work. Like, they like that toxicity,
Mm.
and I refuse. I
Right.
got no enemies. I never will make an enemy in the car scene. I'm here to just have a good time. I have the car that I like. I'm very fortunate where um, I have a relatively low production car, and I'm able to make some kind of like connections with people based on that. Um, and it's wild. Like, it is such a, especially like, obviously you have your online thing, like I told you, where people get online to just argue. But
Right.
then when you're at like a car show, all of that fucking vanishes, where people are just, they want to see your car, they want to
They're
talk
they're
about their car,
they're
they want to
all
hang
there to
out, they're
hang out.
there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, once you get that, like that in person thing, there's simply like nobody's gonna talk shit to you in person. They're gonna wait and they're gonna talk shit to somebody else. And
I
I'm
mean, you're all there to just have a good time. Yeah.
yeah, and like I had the most wild experience, and something I never would have thought in my 1,000 years would happen to me. Um, like I said, I have a lower production car. It is a GR Corolla. There are,
Beautiful, by the way.
I want to say, 14 in my state, and probably about 100 on the West Coast in total.
Wow.
Um, and the exhaust I got is even lower production than the car. I might be one of like 100 in the world that have my exhaust setup on my car. Um, And that's really cool. It's kind of a fun, fascinating thing to be part of, like, this emerging and new thing where people ask me questions about how I installed it. They want to know how, like I am in a group chat of people with just my car and just my exhaust. So we ask people questions about the audio they're getting, the sounds they're getting, like adjustments. Like, it's really nuts. But it turns out the guy who created it lives pretty close to me, and
Whoa.
I've been having a few issues just getting it right. It didn't look right. I had seen other people's pictures, and something wasn't making sense to me. And these are all handmade, so I was like, you know what? Maybe there's a little mistake here. Reached out to him for some help, and he goes, "Hey, you're local. Just drive down to my shop, and I'll take a look at it." And I was like, "Hey, no worries. I'm happy to pay for the time." He's like, "No, you're not paying for the time. Just come down here." The shit's at his house. So I'm at this guy's house who I just sent an email like a couple days ago, and he's like, "Yeah, it could take us a few hours. What was your plan?" I was like, "Oh, well, I mean, I got my laptop. I was just gonna go find a Starbucks." He's like, "Oh yeah, there's one right up the road." In fact, just take my car, and he throws me his keys, and I'm now driving his car to the Starbucks, and he let me borrow it for like 3 hours while he worked on my stuff, and
That is so dope. That is so dope.
it ended up being really cool because he has the same car I do, and he has my dream shifting setup, and it was so wild to see it and drive it. But yeah, so now we're gonna hook back up because he wants to get pictures of my car, get pictures of his car, and get them together because they're both white GR Corollas with his exhaust, and so yeah, it's just it's this world, like, it's this world of collaboration where it's almost 100% in person, which feels so alien being exclusively an online content creator.
Right.
Um,
Having those in-person interactions and that
yeah,
itself kind of being how you make content and whatnot, right?
yeah,
Because you're not only showing yourself, but you're showing the thing. It's not
yeah.
this online, this digital thing. It is fully in person. And then,
Hmm.
you have the people that are, like, whoa, and they're looking at it, and then you take it to shows or whatnot, right? So it's all
Hmm.
that in-person thing, which I can absolutely understand. Like when I've gone to different like conventions or whatnot, right?
Hmm.
It is so different because it's like, hey, John, what up, dude? What's going on, man? Hey,
Absolutely,
baby,
absolutely.
hope you're doing well, man. You know what I'm saying? If I see you in person, I'm like, oh my God, that's John. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like,
I know
I can,
it'll be a different thing.
yeah, it's so different in person, but that's freaking amazing that you've been able to find this place that even though it's a little different, right? It's a little bit of an
Yeah,
adjustment period. It kind of feels natural, no? Like it just feels good to kind of get into it, and it doesn't feel, I don't know. Would you say like, I don't know,
it
like
is. Well, I mean, there's a lot of familiarity, right? Like,
right.
I'm still doing the same thing. I'm still putting content together, putting it out online with the hopes that other people will interact with it. Um, I do love the idea of having a following that is interested in what I'm doing. Um,
Right.
it is, I am experiencing something that I've never experienced before, where if a part comes out and I buy it and install it, um, I very might be the first person that has any content on it, which is kind of weird. Um, and that's been kind of fascinating to, like, be on the cutting edge of the conversations, whether I'm profiting from it or not. It's just been really cool to see uh other people experiencing it. Like, and then everything you do to this car, you might be the first one or the only one to do it. Anyway, it's I don't know. I'm torn. I am doing everything I can to make sure I approach it in a way that is healthy for me.
Yeah.
I did not stop streaming and stop most of my content creation to fill that time with something else.
Right.
And so that's been on it. Somebody is pounding on my door. I will
Hey,
be right back.
hey,
Excuse
no
me.
worries. No worries. You're all good. You're all good. Wow. Oh man, this has been awesome. This has been absolutely freaking awesome, Wolfpack. Thank you guys very much for being here with us and hanging with us to listen to this conversation between Zhao and I, man. Dude, again, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, man, by all means, you guys can absolutely leave those in the live chat while we're still live, or you can go ahead and you can leave those in the comment section once this becomes a VOD. And yeah, I mean, absolutely. No, you guys can let us know what you guys think about this episode and what you guys think about what we've been talking about and yeah, dude, this has been really freaking cool, man. This has been really cool. Not only to catch up with Zhao, but also just to see how he's been. You know what I mean? It's been a good time, good vibes. Yeah. Welcome back, sir. Welcome back. Everything all good?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Nah, you're good.
My landlord.
Whoa. You good?
Yeah. Yeah, they just were like, "Hey, we're going to be coming in on Monday." I was like, "Yeah, that could have been an email, brother."
Right, exactly. You're like, so you want to like you want to come in? You want to have a coffee? Like, like,
Yeah.
No, I get you. All righty, my man. It has been 80 minutes now. I want to be completely and totally respectful of your time.
Yeah.
However long, if you want to keep going for a little bit longer, or if you got to get going, I completely understand. To close this out, if you got to go very soon, is there anything that you want to tell the people? Is there any inspiration that you would give to somebody getting into content or possibly transitioning content? Is there any barriers or anything that you would tell them to kind of like, you know, watch out for, or how, you know, they should potentially go about it, or just, you know, screw it, man, just be you, have fun and make fun things? Like what would you say?
So this always goes back to, you have to be 100% honest with yourself. You can't even do a little sneak lie. You're going to get a situation where you go live and you're used to 6 viewers, and someday you get 30 viewers. You can't then now be unhappy at 6 viewers and only happy at 30 viewers, because you've already shot yourself in the foot. Obviously, we all like to see growth, but content is not a effort in, effort out. Content is effort in, but that out is not guaranteed. And you need to be okay with that, because
Do you think you can change your out to just putting something out and being proud of how you put it out, right? And how it became. And if that then turns into higher viewership, more people coming to the stream, if you stream, possible brand opportunity or whatever, then that's amazing and you celebrate that. That's incredible. But you put in, and then the out that you get is just the fact that you were able to put out something good, and whoever sees it, it is able to impact them and help them in some kind of way. And it was just fun to make in general. Do you think that you can change your out to just being enjoying the process?
I think some people can. I think it's going to require a ton of economic stability already in place. If you are not worried about money, it's a lot easier to get thoughts and prayers as payment. Um,
Yes. Yeah.
and then the other one is, you saying that actually made me think of something.
Let me hear it, brother.
Oh my gosh, hold on. I don't even know. So, back when I was making Overwatch content, I ended up joining a esports team, helping manage a bunch of guild Gears of War players. Um, and we had a YouTube channel, and we were trying to, get content up. So all of us were making videos. I had just kind of stopped doing Overwatch entirely because I made a few videos for them, and I was getting into Dauntless. Um, and my most YouTube video of all time is something that I never got a bit of recognition for. It was for a completely alien YouTube channel that doesn't exist anymore. I didn't get any followers from it. I didn't get anything. I just participated in something and I watched it do pretty well. I got like 25,000 views or something, which for me, I'll probably never have another piece of YouTube media that will ever go that high. Obviously, I've had little TikToks and shorts go high, but never a 10-minute video.
It was a wow. It was a 10-minute. Wow, that's
It was a
awesome.
10-minute video.
That is awesome.
And I remember just being so proud of myself that a video I did that well. And maybe it was because it's earlier in my career. I hadn't really thought about, or my hobby, so to speak. I hadn't really thought about monetization or anything like that. But it was just so cool to see something I did participate and help an organization try. Because our Gears of War team was actually pretty good. But then, you know, once I started owning it and trying to put out other videos, it just didn't really that kind of washed away, and I don't think I ever felt that way again. Some of the every now and then, some of the the first time I had that viral video on my cocktail shitpost account, when I was still
the
real
eggnog one?
bartender. Yeah,
Is it?
no, it was before that. It was I want to say it was the Negroni one.
Ah,
Um, that was when I was still purely in the feeling of this being a stupid hobby that I just wanted to do when I wasn't streaming, when I didn't want to do anything. And so it was really cool to see that. But
right.
then seeing the metrics go up, I immediately started getting like, I started going like content brain about it and started trying to plan other posts and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I have not been able to. And I expect it actually isn't something the average person can do. It takes a certain kind of person. I think about like I've never met a Pee-wee soccer coach that's okay with their team losing every time.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I just, and obviously I'm not using losing in a way like with content, but I just don't know anybody who isn't able to not to accept certain levels of success.
Mm.
And I know personally, if I set a measure for success and I attain that, I immediately set a higher level.
See, actually, I'm glad that you said that, because that reminds me of something I told my buddy Ian. And my buddy Ian he didn't have a YouTube channel, nothing like that, right? And I told him, I was like, hey, you're doing really good on Instagram, but I was like, you could potentially bring, more eyes to the things that because he makes like props, like cosplay props.
Hmm.
Like, right. I was like, you could potentially bring, more people, you could potentially get more customers. You could potentially get in the eyes of brands. And the really cool thing, I don't think it's because of YouTube, but he ended up getting an affiliate ship, right, with the brand of the foam that he uses. So I'm
Love
like, dude,
that.
there you freaking go, right? But
Mhm.
but no, like he didn't make YouTube content or anything like that. And I told him, I was like, dude, make your YouTube channel and
Mhm.
expect nothing. Okay, just make your YouTube channel and just start posting shorts, dude. You have a million videos on your Instagram Reels. Okay, go on to Insta Clip or Gram Clip or whatever it's called, right? Take the link of it,
Mhm.
post it on there. You're gonna get the video in full quality without a watermark. Okay, that's a real thing. Okay, if you're posting content from one platform to another platform and you don't have the original file on your phone, do that, because if you
Yep.
post a thing with a watermark on another platform, it is not going to perform well. There is something in the scanning, the coding, whatever, that's like, oh, this is from another platform. I'm not going to recommend this, right? And now, of course, that's the exception, not the rule, is like podcast clips. Doesn't matter if they have a watermark on them. Podcast clips are going to freaking pop off.
Yeah.
Crazy podcast clip, whatever. Those are gonna
Mhm.
just freaking pop off, get a million views. Doesn't matter if they have a watermark, right? But that's the exception. That is not the rule. Okay. So, make sure you do that. Don't have a watermark. Post the content on other platforms. And as a brand new freaking channel, he's never made a YouTube channel. He's never made a YouTube channel, posted videos, nothing. I told him, I was like, dude, just start making YouTube shorts and expect absolutely nothing, but
Mhm.
just post them just for fun. And he's already had multiple videos hit over 2K views on a brand new YouTube. And like, you got to think like, oh, 2K views, that's like cool for TikTok, whatever. But like, you want to hit the 10, the 20, that kind of stuff. On YouTube, That's huge. Like
Yeah.
the equivalent of like 2,000 views on YouTube, that feels like a video hitting like 10, 11, 15, 20K on TikTok, right?
Hmm.
Because YouTube is this, it's this massive thing, and it's like, dude, if you could get a video to potentially do well on YouTube, you're like, whoa, you know what I mean, right?
Hmm.
But I told him, I was like, just start making YouTube shorts. He started making YouTube shorts, and he's doing really, really well already, and he's literally just doing it for fun. But I told him, I said,
Yeah.
when it comes to the threshold, okay, I said, come up with a threshold. How many views do you want to get per video? Okay, you're doing this simply for fun. You're not doing this
Hmm.
for making money or anything like that. You're not monetized. Maybe one day you could potentially be there, but right now you're only doing this for fun. Okay, set a threshold. How many views do you want to get per short, right?
Hmm.
And I said, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna post the video, and you're just gonna post the video with no expectations of like it's 100% gonna get that, but you'd like to
Hmm.
see it get that. Okay, let's say the threshold is 100 views. Okay, it hits the 100 views. Cool, fantastic. Now, when you get ready to post that next video, the threshold goes back to 100 views. Okay, because
Hmm.
that first video or that 10th video hit 100 views, which is what you wanted it to do not then expect the next video to outperform that, because there's a possibility that it won't. There's almost a likelihood that it won't. So lower that expectation back down, right? And then you post the next video. It gets 300 views. That's freaking awesome. Celebrate that 300 views. But then the third video, lower it back down to 100. And you can do this with 1,000 views, 10,000 views, whatever, right? And I've noticed that for me, a YouTube short typically sits in like the 300 to 400 range. I'd like to get them, I'd like a YouTube short to
Hmm.
hit 1,000 views. If it hits 1,000 views, I'm freaking ecstatic. But then I try to lower it back down and be like, okay, 400 views. If it gets that, that's freaking awesome. If it goes way above that, I made a reaction video from the Summer Game Fest of Black Myth Wukong, right? The trailer,
Hmm.
right? It got 12,000 views. I didn't freaking know it was going to do that. I was like, dude, that's freaking awesome. But then with the next video, I dropped it right back down and I said, 500, 600, whatever. And then it outperformed that. And I was like, that's freaking awesome. But I lowered it back down, right?
Yeah.
Because you have to have realistic expectations. And like you were saying, you have to be honest with yourself.
Yep.
Why are you doing this? What are you trying to achieve in doing this? Do you see a long-term benefit, goal, something from this? What are you trying to achieve from this, and what are you willing to put in? Because in content creation, in the position that I'm in the position that many people are in when it comes to full-time content creation, there are times you're going to miss playing with friends. There's going to be the time you're up till 2, 3 in the morning making a video, making a thumbnail, researching things, checking things out, looking for tags, whatever. But also, there are times where this big drawn out video that it took me months to create, whatever, you can make it in 25 minutes, right?
Yep.
It doesn't have to be this big, massive, giant thing, this massive deal. Sometimes you just need to have fun, right? But also, a really good analogy is don't think of your content as a meatball that you just throw at the wall. Because if you just throw a meatball at the wall, not only is the wall going to get messy, but it's going to slide off the wall, right? That's your content. You want your content to stick. If your content doesn't stick and you're just throwing meatballs at the wall, then your channel looks like a mess and you got a bunch of random segmented stuff that doesn't make any sense, right?
Mhm.
So don't throw meatballs at the wall, right? But come up with some kind of something that you're actually passionate about and that you actually enjoy, and don't expect a million views, but have the thought that it could potentially do that. Like you said with that video that hit 25,000 views, you made that because you were just passionate, right? You made that and then you felt this thing of like, oh my gosh, it got 25,000. That's freaking amazing, right? And this piece of content just felt awesome. That's how I felt about my blood hunt video, right? And like you said, you haven't been able to like recreate that for a long form video on YouTube.
Mhm.
It's the same thing with that blood hunt video. I played blood hunt and I was super passionate about it, right? And I had tons of knowledge on the game, and I played all the alphas and the betas and all this kind of stuff, right? And I was just so excited about the game, and I was like, dude, there's a possibility that there's going to be 1 million people playing this game because Dr. Disrespect is freaking checking it out, and Shroud and all these people are checking it out. There's a possibility that there's going to be a massive influx of players. Well, there's also a lot of information that a lot of people don't know, and I know that information because I've been playing the game. Let me make a 10 tips video. I made a 10 tips video, right? And literally, my mom was like, "Oh my gosh, it's at 5,000 views, 10,000 views, 12,000
Yeah.
views, all this kind of stuff."
Yeah.
And I literally just trying to be like, "It's cool, just like shh, just like no, don't make a big deal about it, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Just enjoy the process. Okay, it's climbing, that's awesome. Wow, it hit 20K, that's amazing, right?" And that video hit, I think, 86K, right? 86K. It's a 9+ minute video if I remember correctly, or 10 minutes, something like that. And it hit that, and I was so happy because the reason I made it was to help people. The reason I made it was to help as many people as I possibly could, and to give them the information that they needed on the game, right? Because nobody was talking about that information. But also, I had the thought in the back of my head that I was like, because I'm posting this and nobody knows this information, there's a possibility that it could do well. Well, it did do very well. And then this is where I messed up. I entered that content brain, and I was like, I have to make that every single video. And then I tried to make that, and I tried to capitalize on that growth and that success of that one video. And I've never had a video hit that ever again. Not even close. Not even close.
And that's the thing. Like once you get used to like, actually, okay, it blows my mind. What's his name? I'm trying to remember. He used to do a lot of like streaming content and Devin Nash.
Yeah. The Twitch, no, Twitch, not Guru, Twitch.
Yeah. I mean, Guru's fun, yeah. I don't know what he does now. I haven't watched him in forever. But once upon a time, he was doing quite a lot of he was telling behind the scenes stories of him working with creators. And I won't say this creator's name because they are in every way a piece of garbage and don't deserve the attention.
Oh, damn.
But they went from being like a 10,000 viewer streamer, which is great. Wow. To 300,000 for a little bit. And then they, air quotes, fell off, and they were only streaming to 70,000 people. And this person, right?
Yeah, and dude, I can't believe there's only 70,000 people watching me.
Well, and this person was depressed because he wasn't getting 300,000 views anymore.
Oh my god, dude, that reminds me. Hey, not to interrupt. So lock it in real quick. Please don't forget it. Don't.
I can remember.
Okay. Here we go. That reminds me of this freaking viral podcast clip that I saw where this dude was complaining about how much money he made on a podcast. Okay, he said that off this podcast he made one clip. Okay, he made a clip off of the podcast, and he spent an hour making this clip, and it only made him $4,000.
Only, yeah.
And that was so disappointing. And dude, do you know Trevor Wagner? Do you know him? Big guy?
No.
Okay. Big TikTok guy, right? But super humble as far as I can tell. Super cool guy, right? Just like super down to earth. And he reacted to that video, and he was like, respectfully, start dying laughing. He was like, dude, look at this. This is a pay stub from when I was 19 years old. I made $1,000 after working 80-something hours, and I felt like a boss. I felt so cool. I felt so awesome. And he says, I can understand where you're coming from. You know, the landscape of content and whatnot is constantly changing. Okay. And views are going to go up. They're going to go down. Your audience is going to grow. It's going to kind of not flatline, but it's going to fall a little bit, right? Like things are going to happen. Things are going to change. There's going to be growth. There's going to be development for you as a creator and for your content. You're going to find different niches or whatever. Okay. But he says literally, basically like, saying, I put an hour of my time into this thing that essentially took me no effort to make in the first place. And then I made $4,000 and that's not enough for me. He was like, dude, there are people that aren't even making $4,000 a month. And you're complaining that you spent an hour making one clip and it made you $4,000 and you're upset about that. Right. And that goes back to the whole like detached thing of like, what are you talking about, bro? There are people that are literally trying to get by on $500 a month.
Yeah, and I mean,
you know what I mean?
Okay, so I do want to make sure I totally love and get where you're going through with this. Like, again, contextualizing your experience is very smart. Um, Understanding and making sure that you are constantly aware of privileges is also very smart. However, I don't want to suggest people do the opposite, where, say, a video gets 300 views, and if you don't want that, or sorry, like, say you get 100 views, I don't want you to be like, well, I should be so happy here because guess how many YouTube videos have 0? It really depends. Because
Right.
again,
Right.
if you want this to be your job, you can't be okay with 100 views on a video.
No.
That will not work, right?
I'll literally speak from my own experience.
Yeah.
If you know the threshold, if you don't, I can tell you later. But I'm making the threshold. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That threshold does not pay the bills. Right. It's hard. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But me, being a Christian, right? Obviously, of course, I trust the Lord, right? But in being a content creator, I'm like, this didn't perform very well and all, and I have that analytical brain, and I have to like, okay, I need to do better. I need to put more work into this. I need to try to, all this kind of stuff, right? I have that, of course, right? And I'm thinking about, how am I going to do this? How am I going to go about this, right? I got to maximize my time, like. I can't be wasting time. I got to make sure that I'm making content, and I'm putting something out. I'm putting something good out, and I'm effective with my time and whatnot, right? But also, I have to appreciate and be grateful for where I'm at and where certain things are, and accept that not every single video is going to get 100,000 views, 1,000,000 views, right? I understand that, and I get that, but also, yes, I 1,000,000% understand the. Dog, I have to pay my bills. If I can't pay my bills, I gotta.
Yep.
I can't do this full time,
Yeah.
right? I understand that so much, because this is the first time, and this is the first time I'm saying this, but this is the first time in 5 years my mom has had to help me with bills.
Yeah.
In 5 years, you know what I mean? And of course, the moment I have a dime, I pay her back anything I possibly can, because not only because I don't want to have a like. I owe somebody, but also because I just don't want to put my mom in that position. You know what I mean? My mom works so freaking hard, and like, I don't want to be like, I don't want her to feel like I have this, like, I'm not putting in enough work, or I'm not doing enough, or whatever, right? So of course she doesn't think that, you know what I mean? She's just like, you're doing your absolute best, and I see you working so hard, and you're trusting God and all these kind of things, and you're going through this season right now, right? For a reason. You're going to come out of this season, you're going to come out of this storm, better than before, right? But there's a reason you're in this right now. There's a reason you're learning this right now. There's a reason videos aren't doing the absolute best. There's a reason you haven't clicked something, you haven't figured something out, right? So absolutely 100% I understand the whole, like, dude, how can you not be grateful for that? But then on the same note, I 1,000,000% understand, if you want to continue doing this full time, if you are doing this for a career, you have to pay the bills. And if you can't pay the bills, you can't keep doing this full time. So I 1,000,000% understand that. And on that note, give me one quick second. I have to use the restroom. Really, I just like 1 second. I'll be right back.
Chatters, commenters, My Little Pony lovers. Tell me in the comments below, what was your first car? Or what car is your dream car? Mwah. That's going to be a good one for the VOD. That's going to be a good one for the VOD. Elden Ring DLC releases in 13 minutes! Woo! Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. That's all I got. I got nothing. That's it, son. That's it, son. Just be completely unhinged for when he gets back and rewatches this. Life's good, y'all. Life is good.
Elden Ring DLC, baby! Yes! Yes, yes.
Oh,
I had the stream on my
Oh,
phone.
yeah.
I had the stream on my phone, dog, and I heard it, and you were like,
You heard
yes! Oh my gosh, dude. Erd Tree looks freaking awesome. Oh
I
my
have not seen
gosh.
anything. I haven't seen a single
Dude,
thing.
No, dude. Dude,
I have no spoiler, no nothing. I don't know what's going on.
So I've seen the trailer. I've seen the trailer. Yeah, dude. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
What do you have a character ready for it?
So I've actually never played Elden Ring, but I want to so bad. I really I think so. I think so. Yeah. I think
it's time.
I think I'm gonna give it a try, dude.
I do need to stress enough that you should look up a guide on how to get to the DLC.
Oh yeah. Yes, there are 3 main bosses I have to beat in order to get there. Yes. I have seen that. I know that if I do get DLC, like I'm not gonna be able to get it. I'm not gonna be able to get there yet. I know.
And because FromSoft are bastards sometimes, you can progress too far and be locked out of it on a character. So make sure you like I said, follow that guide to a T. Every single Dark Souls and even Bloodborne has a point of no return that it does not tell you about. You will just be locked out of DLC on that character.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
As much as I love them to death, it is not my favorite aspect of their fucking
game. What do you call it? Is there one thing I'm able to tell you about it?
Nope.
Not like
spoiling. Nothing. I don't want to know a single thing.
Okay. All right. Got you. I got you. Dude, yeah.
I need to get some work done before this DLC drops, so I need to let you go and all you wonderful schnookums in chat.
So, my man, really quickly, where can people find you?
JanuaryAndOn on anything that's relevant, and if it's not there, then I'm not active on it. No. JanuaryAndOn on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Those are where I post most of my stuff. I do stream sometimes. I've got a couple streams planned later this month that I'll be doing.
Very excited for those.
Yeah, and that's it, man. Just be well and have fun and take care of yourselves.
You guys can check out Zhao on Instagram, on TikTok, on freaking, on all the platforms in the description down below. We got them linked. Check them out. Awesome dude. Zhao, thank you so much. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate the wonderful conversations and your friendship as well, dude. You've been an amazing friend, and I'm just very grateful and honored to know you, my man. Thank you. Now, honored one. Get ready to go clap some freaking cheeks, dude.
Oh, we got it.
Yes, sir. All right, man. I appreciate you.
Later.
Be easy. Peace. Oh man, good freaking times, dude. Yo, thank you guys so much for watching, man. I appreciate you. Thank you. Zhao, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you, my man. Amazing conversation, amazing episode. Incredible inside look at the car content, the content in general, the freaking everything, my man. Just a wonderful time being able to speak with you, being able to talk with you, and I'm very grateful that we've been friends in the first place, right? But then also on top of that, we've been able to just talk about big topics. We did the last podcast quite a few months ago, and then we did this podcast right now, man. Just amazing time, and I'm just very grateful to be able to know you, my man. Thank you for your time. Thank you very much, everybody that watched. If you guys watched live, or if you guys are coming back to this watching it once it is a VOD, either way, thank you so much. What did you guys think about the episode? If you haven't liked it already, please drop a like on it. If you'd like to see more podcast content, we'll be doing these live episodes either by myself or with a guest bi-weekly every 2 weeks, and then on top of that, we'll be posting short form content and long form content, so be on the lookout for that. But I appreciate you so much, all you beautiful people, and have a wonderful, incredible, fantastic rest of your day. Deuces out.